أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum. My name is Laiba Irfan, and today we're gonna talk about the rules which are being used in Surah Yasin and how we have to follow them while reciting Surah Yasin. More appropriately, I will talk about the ayah from ayah 7, 8, 9 and the rules which are being discussed in these ayah and how we're gonna follow these rules while reciting these ayah. So let me zoom in these ayah. Okay, so you can see the ayah number 7, 8 and 9. So first of all, we have the ayah 7, that is لَقَدْ حَقَّ الْقَوْلُ عَلَىٰ أَكْثَرِهِمْ فَهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Okay, so first of all I will discuss about I will enumerate the rules which are being used in these ayah. So we can see various signs here, and whenever these signs are being used, it means that there must be some rule which we have to follow while reciting these ayahs. Okay? So here you can see various symbols and signs like this curve, the dal like symbol, this small w like symbol, then this mud sign, standing haraka, and various signs are being used. Now the rules which are being discussed here are sukoon and tashdid and standing haraka, rule of mad, and we have haruf madda, we have haruf leen, and we have the rules of noon sakin and tanween here, which are izhar, iqlab, idgham and ikhfa, and we also have the rule of idgham shafwi here, and we have tanween or the rule of narration here, and the rule which we have to follow when we see this stop sign. So first of all we'll see the rule of sukoon and the related words which have the sakin sign on them. Okay, so whenever you see this curved dal like symbol present above the letter, it is known as the sign of sakin, and whenever it is present above the letter, it is called sukoon, and we have to follow the rule of sukoon here. So you can see dal has the sakin sign on it, lam has sakin sign on it, waw has sakin sign on it, likewise meem has sakin sign, hamza has sakin sign, waw has sakin sign, and in the later ayahs we can also see this sakin sign on the respective letters. So we have to follow the rule of sukoon here. Okay, so what is basically a sukoon? Sukoon is basically used to indicate that a letter lacks a vowel. What is a vowel? We can see various vowel marks here, or we can call them a sign of haraka, which are fatha, kasra and zumma. So this letter means dal has no sign of vowel on it, rather it has this curved dal like symbol on it, which is known as sukoon. So sukoon basically means to rest or to pause or to still. So we have to rest on that letter that contains sukoon, because it doesn't has its own sound here. So the letter which has sukoon sign on it, we have to join it with the previous letter. We have to join the letter containing the sakin sign with the previous letter and make the letter which has sukoon sign quiescent, or we have to make it silent, and we have to read it by joining it with the previous letter, like laqad. Okay, now one thing more which you have to know about is kalkala. Okay, so what is kalkala? Kalkala is basically the bouncing back or echoing of the sound. So kalkala is applied when the kalkala letters have sukoon on them. So what are kalkala letters? We have 29 letters in Arabic, and 5 such letters have the quality of qalqala in them. That are qaf, ta, ba, jim, dal. So you can remember these qalqala letters with the help of a mnemonic, that is Qutubu Jaddin. Qutubu Jaddin. Qutubu Jaddin means Qaf, Twa, Ba, Jim, Dal. So these 5 letters are the Kalkala letters, and you can memorize it with this mnemonic, with this simple mnemonic Qutubu Jaddin. And whenever these Kalkala letters are used and there is a sukoon sign on them, then we have to do Kalkala here. So how we'll do Kalkala? Kalkala is basically the bouncing back of the sound. So whenever there is a sukoon sign on Kalkala letters, we have to give the echoing effect to these letters and make a little lighter echo sound, and we have to pronounce these letters bouncy. Like here, the word is laqad, and the letter dal has sukoon sign on it, and dal is the kalkala letter. So we have to first of all we have to follow the rule of sukoon, that is we have to recite this word and recite the letter dal by joining it with the previous letter, because it doesn't has its own sound. And while we are pronouncing the word laqad, we have to stop on ba and make it bouncy, and we have to make the lighter echo sound here, like laqad. You can see that when I am stopping on the letter dal, I am making a little bouncy effect or the echoing effect here, like laqad. So here is how you can follow the rule of sukoon and the rule of qalqala whenever the qalqala letters have a sukoon sign on it. Okay, so then we can see lam is a simple letter. It is not a kalkala letter. So whenever you are joining it with the previous letter, you have to read it as such. That means you simply have to follow the rule of sukoon. You don't have to follow the rule of kalkala here. It is only for the kalkala letters. So you have to read it like haqqal qawlu, qawlu, haqqal qawlu. Okay, haqqal. Okay, so I am reciting a lam by joining it with the previous letter. So wow has also sakin sign on it, but this is haruf leen, and we'll discuss it later. Then we can see kaf. Kaf has a sukoon sign on it, and we can simply follow the rule of sukoon here. It is also not a kalkala letter, so we just have to read the letter kaf by joining it with the previous letter, like ak. And similarly, we have to read this letter meme by joining it with the previous letter, like him. We simply have to follow the rule of sukoon here, that is we have to join meme with the previous letter ha and make this letter quiescent or still or silent, like him. Ak sairi him. Likewise, fahum la yu'minun. So yu'minun, now Hamza also has a sukoon sign on it, and whenever Hamza is present with a sakin sign on it, we have to give it a little jerky effect while reciting this letter, like you. Okay, and here also a wow has sakin sign on it, but it is haruf madda, and we will discuss it later. Likewise, in the ayah 7, we can also see the rule of sukoon here. Lam has sakin sign on it, and it is not a calculator, so we simply have to follow the rule of sukoon here, and we have to read lam by joining it with the previous letter ain, and we have to make this letter quiescent, like ja'ilna. So Jarl. You can see that I am simply reciting lam by joining it with the previous letter Ain. Then simply Arinaqihim. Now you can see that Ain in this word, Ain has sukoon sign on it, and Meme has a also has a sukoon. So we have to follow the rule of sukoon here, and we have to read it simply. We don't have to follow the rule of kalkala here because these are not the kalkala letters. We can read this letter as a'naqihim, like aghlalan, agh. Now ghain has a sakin sign on it, and we have to follow the rule of sukoon here, and we simply have to read it by joining it with the previous letter agh. Simply, we have to, in this letter, azqani, we can see two sakin sign on lam and zal. So we have to join these letters. We have to read these letters by joining it with the previous letters, like ilal azqani. So um, we can see that we simply have to follow the rule of sukoon here. Now, meme also has a sakin sign on it, but the following letter is meme, and it has a rule, and it has a sign of shadda on it, sign of duplication. Then it is the rule of idgham shafi. We can discuss it later, and and we will also describe this rule later, in which we can see noon sakin, but there is a small meme written, and we will discuss this rule later. Okay, here is also present harufi leen, and this is a harufi madda. Now in this letter, meme has a sukoon sign, sukoon on it, and we have to follow the rule of sukoon here, like him, id him. Simply, okay. We can also see there is a noon sakin here, but whenever there is a noon sakin and it is followed by any Arabic letter, any of the 29 letters of Arabic, there is some kind of rule present here, and we will discuss it later. We are simply discussing the rule of sukoon. Then then a wine has a sukoon sign on it, and we have to read it by joining with the previous letter, like aw. Okay, fa'aw. Then meme also has a sukoon sign on it, and we have to read it like hum. Simply for whom, we have to follow the rule of sukoon. And okay, now, like laqad, the word yubsirun also has a kalkala letter, and this kalkala letter has a sukoon sign on it. So here we have to follow the rule of kalkala along with the sukoon. So we have to make a little lighter echo sound, and we have to make the letter ba a little bit bouncy while pronouncing this. Okay, like yub. Okay, and so in these three ayah, these were the letters containing the curved dal like symbol sukoon on it, and when the letter has a sukoon sign on it, we read the letter as da sakin, and we have to read it by joining it with the previous letter and make that letter quiescent. And whenever there are kalkala letters containing the sukoon, then we have to follow the rule of kalkala along with the sukoon.